Good evening and welcome to this talk in our Alumni Leadership Lecture Series. For a change, we're going to start on time since the speaker has to catch a flight. And I want to welcome Shri Ashok Khanna, BTech 1967, Mechanical Engineering. He is the Vice Chairman of C&S Electric Limited, Delhi. I'm sure you have all seen his very brief resume that I circulated, which speaks for itself. It's an outstanding record of achievements, and I'm sure he will take us through that story a little bit of how he got to be where he is, and I hope that he will serve as an inspiration to many of you as you graduate and embark on your own careers. I'm sure that he'll be happy to interact with you, so if you have any questions, please hold them till the end of the talk, but then you're free to ask your questions.
Thank you. Dear friends, it's indeed a delightful day for me to be here with you all at IIT Madras. That's what it's called, despite being in Chennai. This is the place where I have studied. This is the place which has built my foundations. And I owe all my achievements to the 5 years that I spent here. Therefore, it brings a lot of good memories of the days spent here, which can never really die. I must therefore thank you, Professor Nagarajan. I must thank the director, Professor Bhaskaran, and of course, Suresh, who's been doing all the work for making this presentation possible. I was trying to push it, but I must say your persuasion brought me here. So, as you said, you have already circulated my presentation in terms of my experiences, what I wrote about, and you people already know about it. But whatever I am today is, or whatever I have accomplished is my company. So I think it will be in order that I start by first presenting to you briefly my company before I tell you how I achieved it. Okay? So these are the highlights of our company. As you see, we are market leaders in bus bar business, and in we have a dominating market position, and we are among the top 4 players in the switchgear business segment. We have 17 manufacturing plants spread over Delhi, Noida, in Haridwar and Pantnagar. We have a plant in Nantong in China, and recently we acquired a company with manufacturing facilities at Boom in Belgium. We have grown tenfold in the last 10 years, and 2% of our turnover each year has been spent in R&D facilities. We have about 20,000 square feet space covered, dedicated to R&D, about 70 engineers working on it. We have 4 government-approved R&D centers and 1 UL-accredited lab. We have more than 4,000 employees, including about 500 engineers and about 250 to 300 people in the marketing, 20 sales offices in the country, which control about 400 stockists, and our products are available over nearly 3,000 counters. We are into exporting our products, and we export to nearly 85 countries to maybe a couple of hundred customers. This slide speaks about our vision, our mission, and our values to be the most trusted, respected, and preferred brand, to be the closest to customers, to manage power in India, that's our business, in the biggest industries, its highest buildings, in its critical infrastructure, and millions of its homes, to serve as a role model to others, and to make Made in India a respected label the world over. And that's what we've been working on. Our mission is, of course, to create a unique alchemy of outstanding products, operational excellence, path-breaking customer service, to create best place to work for our employees and empower them to do as they would like, to continuously innovate, enhance our core technologies and develop new world-class products, to be India's largest exporter of industrial electrical products as we are today, to everyday experience add the sheer joy and delight in our internal and external customers, to earn a healthy return on investment that ought to be the motive of any business. And our values include stretching ourselves for our customers, to be frank and honest, to be obsessed with quality, to work hard and be smart and swift, and to succeed as a team and as an individual. Discover your strengths and those of others. This slide briefly explains all of our activities over a period of time. I think I'll skip that. I'll come to that later. This slide talks about our products. We are into low voltage segment, as you see there. Is there a pointer here? Okay, never mind. So as you see, we have low voltage switchgear products. I won't read the whole thing because it's a bit smudged, and we'll come to the products later. Then we have bus bar systems. We have medium voltage switchgear and switchgear panels. We have EPC contracting division. In the power generation, we are into gensets, and we have a lighting and wiring accessories division. We do manufacture all these products in the 17 state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities located in Noida, Haridwar, as I told you, Pantnagar, Bhiwani, I missed that out, Nantong in China, and Boom in Belgium. Dedicated logistic warehouses in Noida, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Bhubaneswar, more than 2 million square feet covered area, latest precision tools, machinery, testing equipment, and an Oracle-based ERP system tying the whole thing. For more than 4 decades, we have served several areas of industry and usage, power generation being our forte. We have worked for thermal, nuclear, and hydro power plants. We work for wind power. We work for solar power. In fact, we own a solar power station ourselves, a solar power park. In the distribution and transmission, we manufacture products for switch yards, for city distribution in terms of RMUs and medium voltage circuit panels, and package substations. Everything in the package substations except for the transformer is manufactured by us in-house. In industries, we have products for manufacturing plants. We have products for infrastructure, for buildings, and for the last slide in this shows those oil rigs. We have equipment in oil rigs. We manufacture equipment which is used as by OEM manufacturers like lifts and cranes, by locomotive manufacturers, and various other manufacturers. In the infrastructure side, we have rising mains which go into the high-rise buildings. We have equipment for airports and stadiums. In the commercial side, we have things for buildings, as I said earlier, and we have for agriculture as well as for solar power plants. The passion for innovation and excellence is what has really got us through to this stage, starting from the scratch. And as I explained earlier, 2% of our turnover is invested in R&D, and we have 70 engineers working on it, and focused product development. Nearly 25% of our sales today is the products which we have developed over the last 5 years in our innovative centers. Yes? Yeah? In the export business, well, this slide says 30% because this talks of CNS standalone. whereas when I talk of CNS, I include the group companies, which are some joint ventures as well, and 100% owned subsidiaries in China and in Belgium. So we export to more than 85 countries. And pan-India, we have retail through 400 stockists and retailers. And as I said, more than 3,000 counters serve our products. We have an electrician training program, and we've trained more than 11,000 electricians on the correct usage of the products. This picture is our low voltage circuit breaker manufacturing company, and this slide talks about our being amongst the three major domestic players in making circuit breakers, and it's a comprehensive product range. Most of the things we've spoken about already. So in the power distribution components, we manufacture air circuit breakers, which is a very wide range, starting from 400 ampere going up to 6,300 ampere. We make molded case circuit breakers from 500 amperes to 1,600 amperes. There are several frame sizes in each. We make switch disconnectors from 2,500 ampere to 3,150, and likewise for switch disconnectors with fuses up to 800 amperes, compact changeover switches, HRC fuses, power capacitors, and so on. Among the final distribution products, we have miniature circuit breakers, residual current circuit breakers, and distribution boards. We have in the lighting division several outdoor lighting possibilities, as well as for commercial applications. We have supplied to various projects, leading projects, who use our lighting and wiring accessories. This picture shows our low voltage component business in China. We have a large plant there, 4,474 square meters. We started by manufacturing components which we supplied back to India for our own use, and we took about a year and a half to get certification for our products like contactors, overload relays, switching devices, and so on. And we have now a certification of all these products, CCC certification, which is necessary for selling in China. And now we've started selling of these products in the Chinese market. The Chinese market is almost 6 times or 7 times the size of the Indian market. We excel in making switchboards in our low voltage switchboard business, and all the power plants in India, particularly of NTPC, have our products. If we have won major tenders, we have our switchgear in a large way. Where we haven't won major tenders, we have switchgear supplied through coal handling plant people or some other ash handling plant or something or the other. NTPC is mostly thermal power plants. Likewise, all the private power producers, be it Tatas or be it the Reliance, everybody has our products located. This picture shows our bus bars. These bus bars which you see, the circular ones, they are the ones which are used for carrying current from the generator to the main transformer. When you step it up and then you supply, because when you have a generation like a 500 megawatt, it will be about 20,000 or 24,000 volts, and the currents would be ranging from 18 to 20,000 ampere maximum. And then you carry these currents to a transformer, and you step up to transmission for whatever 400, 800, 1200, whatever voltage the transmission system is at that point of time or that place. So these are very special because they are meant to carry high currents, and their designing is very special because in case of a short circuit, the currents this normal current carrying capacity of 18,000 ampere, maybe carrying a short circuit current of something like 800 or 900 kiloamperes. And that makes it the design very special. Not many people around the world manufacture these. We call these isobars, which are used for power stations. And then we have the segregated phase bus bars, which is down below, and that's a generator auxiliary cubicle. We manufacture them in 2 plants, in Noida and in Haridwar. This shows one of the typical applications with the segregated phase bus bar running. And here we call it the metabar. This is low voltage mostly. They are for carrying currents in factories and in high-rise buildings. You know, in the factories, no longer people use cables and distribution boards. You run a bus bar trunking all along the length of the factory, and then you have tap-offs possibilities everywhere. So we are the only people in India who manufacture this product. The other products being sold in competition are being imported. This is a factory which manufactures the Beto bar, which is again a bus bar system, which is resin cast. And this factory is in Belgium. This is a recently acquired sort of business in Belgium for us. And we call it the bitter bar. And you see the products, they are cast resin molded. And these are used if you have bus bar systems running underground, or where there is high corrosion in petrochemicals, for example. Some people use them in high-rise buildings also. In the electronics business, we have a number of protection relays that we manufacture, and the picture shows relay panels. These are some of the protection relays. This is our EPC business. This is a plant set up by us in one of the thermal power stations. We have more than 70 engineers working in the EPC business. We have many projects to our credit. The picture is of the North Block. We also done the bus bar systems in the Parliament. Parliament is a circular building. It's an interesting one. And earlier on, there were thousands of cables there. So one day they ripped them apart, and we supplied and fitted the bus bars running all around in a circular fashion, and all the power output is taken from those now. This is our solar plant at Bhiwani in Haryana. We have a 1 megawatt plant there, which we really did on an experimental basis, and now we are into the EPC business for solar. This is some of our solar installations. This is our factory showing another product, which is the diesel gensets, different ratings, different applications. And this is medium voltage panel. It's a joint venture company, 50% owned by us, 50% by FSEC in Portugal, a leading company there. Yeah, it talks about CNS FSEC. That product you see on the right, on the top, is a ring main unit. You know, in the distribution system, you have ring main units, and then you have output through different medium voltage panels, then to the transformer, and then you step down and come to the low voltage. So that is about the company. Keeping track of time, I should now tell you how we achieved it. So this all began in 1962. I joined IIT Madras, chose mechanical engineering. This was by design and not a random choice. My brother, 5 years older than me, had that very year in 62 passed out doing his electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur. So we thought that we should do something together one day. We didn't know what it would be. And we felt that mechanical engineer and electrical engineer would make a good combination. That was behind our thinking in my taking up mechanical engineering. I started my studies. My brother went to Germany to train, and he worked in an industrial electrical switching and control gear company. And then in 1966, he was planning to come back. We were in touch with each other in postal correspondence. We did not have emails. We did not have even the cell phones. The telephone was very difficult to get even from here to Delhi, where my family was. You had to wait in one room in the hostel and book the call, and if it went through, you spoke home. So talking to Germany, where my brother was impossible. So we wrote letters to each other, long letters, and we decided we will set up a manufacturing plant for control panels. And we saw an opportunity there, and we decided that the name of the company, again in correspondence, mind you, postal correspondence, that it would be Controls and Switchgear. And then during one of my vacations in 64, 65, I went to, with my brother-in-law, who was already in industry, to a design office to set a logo made. And this logo we use for what you see for almost 40 years. We changed our logo some 10 years ago, 5, 7 years ago maybe. So 62 to 67, I studied and passed out from here. And my brother came back in 66 from Germany. And before he came back, I printed out letterheads and sent to him, and I printed out cards again during maybe the summer vacation or winter vacation of 65, made visiting cards and sent him, which he used in the Hanover Fair. In Germany, there is a Hanover Fair every year, which is an important fair. We participate in it for the last maybe 15, 20 years now, every year. And in this fair, all manufacturers, particularly electrical engineering manufacturers, bring out their latest products. So he made contact with them, and he gave them his card of Controls and Switchgear. And the company really did not exist at that time. And then he sent me again by mail the names of all these people. And during my next vacation, using my father's office, my father was a lawyer at that time, and we made out letters to all these companies and wrote back to them confirming my brother's visit and our interest in their products and so on. So the interaction started. So from 67 till 82, we continued manufacturing control panels. We started by making just panels, small panels, for a machine tool called Power Press, simple. But these were being imported by this company which belonged to my brother-in-law from this German company where my brother had worked. So we started making those panels instead of their importing them. And that was the starting. Then of course we made control panels for cranes, lifts, centrifuges, and gradually we made better panels, and we could do the calculations involved and bus bar systems and so on and so forth. And we got on to power plant panels finally. As a corollary in this period only to making panels, we started making traffic signals, and we excelled. We made very complex traffic systems which I don't see even today, where you had two green waves of traffic moving without stopping through maybe 15 or 20 intersections both ways. And it is possible to do it. It's a matter of control circuitry and a little bit of application of your mind, and you can achieve it. We did those systems, and eventually we installed traffic signals right from Srinagar to Kanyakumari, everywhere. And then we got out of this field because there's too much corruption in getting our payments, and we didn't want to handle it. We got out of it. So then in, I think, 69, we got into naval jobs. It was again, the Navy recognized our ability. Why we started this enterprise? Because we felt, as I was telling some of the students who met me earlier, that why should we go and join, maybe we had a choice to join Siemens or English Electric or Larsen Toubro or some company, because we felt that there is not one Mr. Siemens who's very knowledgeable and doing everything. After all, there are people, there are engineers like us, and we thought we are good engineers ourselves. So why should we do something ourselves? And that's what I wanted to share with you. And that's what started. And then, as I told you, we started the naval jobs. The Navy then entrusted to us development of a very large range of special switchgears which goes into the warships. During this period also, we started making these push buttons and pilot lamps, small accessories, because we were making control panels, and we found that the quality of these accessories that were available, they were very poor. So we thought we should do it ourselves, and we went to mold makers to get a mold made. We went to component manufacturers to get a component made, because we didn't have a very large enterprise at that time. Later on, we had tens of tool rooms and machines and equipments to do all this in a much better way. But that is how it all started. Then it became more and more difficult for us to supply panels to the powerhouses, because there was a lot of resistance from established manufacturers, from like Siemens and others, because this was the domain of only these companies to supply equipment to powerhouses, which was considered more intricate than supplying to industry or for a machine. So since we broke in, they brought in specifications to eliminate us, and they said you have to be a manufacturer of a circuit breaker or a contactor and so on and so forth. And these products look very difficult, because only established industries manufactured them. But we said, why not? And we said we don't have to invent the wheel. We went out looking for collaborations and joint ventures. And there must have been something in us that we were able to get the best of the companies to come and join hands with us. We got Stromberg, who are now part of ABB and the largest manufacturer of switches those days, to come and join hands with us to make switches here. Likewise, for circuit breakers, we went and joined hands with Terasaki in Japan. And for contactors, the one on the right, we joined hands with Telemechanic. They made the best product. They're part of Schneider now. So that's a long story how it all went, but we were able to do that merely because of our conviction that we can do it. We were a small company, but we had big dreams, and we stuck to them. So that is what I want to tell you, really. So from 83 to 90, it was a period of very rapid growth in our company. We set up new industrial, in fact, this is also interesting. From 66, 67 when we started, till about 71, we were working out of our house. We started in the garage of my father's house at Rohtak Road, and eventually my father became a judge, so we all moved to a government house, and the whole house was available to us. And when we started jobs for the Navy, our factory was still in the house. We had the naval officers coming there. We put up a foundry there on the ground floor. We had a machine shop, everything within the house. And the government was telling us, you are in a non-conforming area, you have to move out. And eventually we got land in Okhla, and we built our first factory in Okhla, and we moved there in 72. And then from 83 to 90, we made several more manufacturing plants in Noida, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, Greater Noida, everywhere we made plants, whenever, because it was always in small steps, because we didn't have huge capital to buy a large piece of land, one place, and just go on building, which we've done later on in Haridwar. But earlier on, we made several plants. So we had 8 or 9 plants at that time, and we started making all these components. And you see some of the plants. We always believed in good quality of things, be they our own buildings for manufacturing or something else, or the products. Oh. Can you keep it? No. So we, as you see, we made very good buildings as well. And I don't know if I have many photographs of the interiors. We made very good manufacturing facilities. If any of you come to Delhi, you can visit them, or you go to Pantnagar or Haridwar, you can visit them. So between 83 and 90, we took up the medium voltage generator bus ducts. And I think the only company that was making in India was BHEL at that time, and maybe Beston Crompton. But we are India's number 1 and maybe number 3 or 4 in the world for this product line. Then we did extensive marketing. One of your students who's starting a project who's working on a electrical motor-driven, battery-powered scooter. He met me earlier today, and we were discussing that he's been able to develop a good product, and he's going to again make it. He passed out last year, and I was telling him that marketing is a bigger job. First job is to make the product, of course. It's always difficult to say what comes first, the egg or the hen, but it is always related. You have to have a product to market, but unless you have a market, you're no good having a product. So, you know, we built up a marketing network, we set up, we hired people, then we set up offices, we went, appointed distributors. The first appointees were not good enough, we lost some money, they didn't pay us, then we went another time. So it went on, and gradually we have an established network of 400 distributors here. So then in the period 91 to 2000, we had more joint ventures. I think we continue to keep on developing new things. And this time we had a very large range of terminal blocks from a company called Vago, and we set up a joint venture with them. And we set up electronic protection relay manufacturing with a company called SEG in Germany. The full name was, I think, Schaltlangen und Elektronik Geräte. And they had another company in the group called AVK, Affenkaik. They manufactured alternators. So their owner once drove me from Kempen, where this company SEG was located, and he took me through his generator making plant and said, Ashok, can't you do it? I said, yeah, I can do it, but it's not my product. And eventually we ended up making a joint venture for making alternators. And for 15 or 20 years we made alternators, and eventually this company we sold off to somebody else. Then we started, in 95 there was a depression because of, suddenly Manmohan Singh was the finance minister, and he said we will privatize power. And suddenly the government stopped investing in powerhouses, which they again started again soon thereafter. But there was a period of about 3 years of uncertainty, and even Siemens had to shut down their factory in Calcutta for making panels. And we were in a fix, we didn't know what to do. So we said, okay, let's go out of the country. And that's when our exports started. And we knew we couldn't be part of a large part of our market anywhere outside the country. So we went to several countries, we traveled ourselves, we had people traveling for us, and eventually today we sell in 85 countries to maybe 200 customers, different products. And it was tough because nobody was accepting a made in India circuit breaker or a made in India contactor. But eventually we made in India an accepted brand the world over. And of course, during this period, a lot of ISO 9000 and all these, once you get going, many things come. And here you see a larger plant that we have. It's actually a entire sector we have in Haridwar, where we have, I think, 8 or 9 buildings, where we manufacture a large number of products ranging from bus bars to these MCBs and many other products. In between 2001 and 2010, I think in 2005 probably, we joined hands with a company called Himoinza to make gen sets. It was not necessary, we had the technology, but they were friends from many spheres, and we said we must work together. So we built the largest plant in India for a single plant for making gen sets, which you see the picture on the right. And this is about our joint venture with a company called Gavis, which we bought out later, their shares, and we manufacture, just to get to, because people did not know C&S, and I think a lot of you don't know C&S as a company, because our products were always industrial or going to the powerhouses. So therefore, we thought we should do something more, which is recognized by people, and we started making these plate switches and light fixtures and so on. R&D facilities I have already spoken about. Here you see some of our R&D centers. We started manufacturing medium voltage switchgear just about 4 years ago, I think. 4 years or so, 5 years maybe at the most. Of course, we already were in the powerhouses doing our bus bars. The picture on the left you see is our bus bars. And there are different kinds of bus bar. What you see here is the isolated phase bus bars which carry the main current, and what you see here is the bus bars which are segregated phase bus bars. They carry about maybe 7.5 kV to 11 kV currents, but lower currents at that voltage. So there are different kind of bus bar, and that is a ring main unit typically. So several JV partners, equity was bought out in this period also. This was a period of a lot of changes, because the industry had been set up, and we had, we became a professional company in this period. We ourselves are professionals, and we have more professionals, and everything we started, the ERP system, the reorganization of the group took place in this period. And then any business must have a good succession plan. If you don't have a succession plan, the business dies. So I think in any management studies which you do subsequently, you will see succession is always a part of a business. And I think we have succeeded in having our next generation take over the business, and they are now the managing directors. So in 2011, we have set up this plant in China, in Nantong. I spoke about it earlier. And later part of 2011, we bought out this company, Itacom in Holland. The company is registered in Holland with manufacturing facilities in Belgium, and design and sales offices in England, in Holland, in Belgium, and Germany. And this is a picture of a lot of our salespeople and myself standing in the middle at an Electrama exhibition. There is an Electrama exhibition in January in Bangalore, right next door. And it would be nice, I think students should go and have a look at the Electrama, because you see the best of Indian electrical and electronic products being displayed, not only Indian, a lot of foreign manufacturers also come, and we are going to be participating in the fair also. So this will be, I think, 8th to 12th of January in Bangalore. So this was the fair in Bombay, I think. And this is, in the end, the two promoters, myself and my brother, two IITians. We can look back with satisfaction of having created a company from the scratch, from the garage of our house, with distinguished record of products, services, satisfied employees, prestigious customers, and satisfactory structure for further growth, and with best corporate governance practices possible. Among several personal precious moments in life, I would like to share with you this one. When in 2004, I was given this award of a distinguished alumnus. I do not still know who recommended me for this award, but the then director told me that we have our ways of finding out, and I got it. So I was very proud of it, that after years of having left the campus, I was recognized, and I'm grateful to the institute for that. And eventually, of course, a loving family. And this picture was taken at my father's 100th birthday, who's sitting in the middle. So that was in 2012, January. So eventually you work for the family, and you work for the pleasure of your family and yourself. And strong friendships with IITians continue. We have several get-togethers we've had in the past at my house also, where you see the batch of 67, because as I told you, in 62 was a year of national integration. So a lot of people from the northern part of India were here, and consequently in Delhi we have quite a spread of our batchmates. So we were there. And then some of my best friends today remain to be IITians. What you see in that last picture is Harish Seth. He is a very close friend of mine, stays my neighbor also. And these other two pictures you see, we've been traveling, holidaying together also. You see all the men are IITians in these pictures. Thank you, gentlemen. So I think I have kept my promise of time. And now if you have any questions, I can only tell you in conclusion that at CNS we have approached any and every challenge with curiosity, excitement, and collaborative spirit, and encourage team spirit always. We have always tried to push back boundaries and limitations, be they technical, financial, or otherwise. And as I was telling some of the students I met this morning, it is possible. I am a living example of that. And I urge you to take up entrepreneurship yourself, as many of you as you can, because I see that you have excellent facilities possible today. I went to the Innovation Center, I went to the Industrial Park, you have a CS program. Nothing of that sort existed at that time. So very few of my batch are entrepreneurs. But you guys have a great opportunity. You are in a campus where you have so much facility. You should, more and more of you should become entrepreneurs. And now if you have any questions. Yes, please. Yeah. Please.
My name is Arun. I am a PhD scholar here.
A PhD scholar?
Yes.
Yeah, I know the campus has changed. When I was here, there were only 2,000 or 2,200 students doing BTech, and there were maybe a couple of hundred students doing doctorates and MTech. Now I think more than 4,000 students. Huh? More than 50%. So yes, what is your question?
I'm also an entrepreneur, so very happy to see your success and inspired by you, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you talked about your renewable energy business, especially the
Yes,
solar
the solar
EPC business.
Yeah.
Could you explain the solar park that you talked about, and what is your roadmap for your renewable energy portfolio going forward?
Well, actually our objective was not to own a lot of solar power plants. You know, every business has an objective, and our objective was to really create a reference and get some experience to be an EPC contractor. It was more for our EPC business, but it's not a bad investment, because at that time the solar cells were very expensive, and we were able to negotiate PPA, power purchase agreement for something like 17.5 rupees, and I think today the PPAs are going for 8 rupees or something like that.
7 rupees.
7 rupees. So we were very lucky. And then I was telling some of the students, being lucky is part of hard work. You need luck, but the harder you work, the luckier you get. So we worked on it, we got it.
So will you continue your EPC roadmap for
Yeah,
solar business?
we are already doing. We have done so many smaller plants in Chandigarh particularly. I think every small plant of 300-400 watts or whichever has come, we've done all the EPC works.
Where do you see future growth for your corporation?
For our company?
Which sectors of your business, where do you see fast growth for your enterprise?
Well, you know, we see that for further growth, we don't see growth as an organic growth, starting new ventures every now and then. We had enough of it. Now it will be inorganic growth, buyouts. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
In whichever field.
Thank you, sir.
So, saying F1 racing and bus bars, what's the connection?
Pardon me?
F1 racing and bus bars.
Oh yeah, you know F1 racing, there is only one F1 racing track in Greater Noida, and that has a lot of bus bar to for the underground, and we've done all of it.
What's the connection?
Yeah, that's the relationship.
And I've seen only software companies start off on garage. Your company started from garage.
Well,
Core company.
software companies have a much faster growth rate. We do a lot of hard disk, hard drive, hardware.
Started from garage. In fact, Sony started in a garage.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies have started.
Yeah.
But normally hardware, core engineering companies.
Yeah.
Toyota
Yeah, but every lot of companies, even telemechanic started in a garage. So many, but garage is the most convenient place because that's the place you have. You can park your car outside and start working. As simple as that. You have to have an idea to work on. Yeah.
Hello, I'm
Yes.
Jitendra Sangway. I'm a faculty
Yes.
with ocean engineering.
Yes.
Actually, I have a question that what I observe is nowadays the new startup are coming again mainly in the IT sector, mainly.
Yeah,
websites
because
and these things.
it does not involve IT sector is software more. You're not
Yeah.
you don't have to put up a machine shop, a foundry, or get many things
Yes,
together.
yes,
You
so-
can do things on the cloud.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So it's easy, right there. So and the growth is again faster than
so
manufacturing.
that is relatively easy, but great opportunities. I know it's very good.
Yes. So and other thing is that how you see the manufacturing industry in India is competing with China, because there are a lot of things that is coming up.
But that's
from
not a
China,
problem.
but,
I think when we were, exporting our products, and China came in a big way, some 7, 8, 10 years ago, and we were afraid that how will we go about things because Chinese products look at good. But eventually, people realized that in China you have very good engineering techniques and facilities available. They can make products as good as the Europeans do, but they also make similar looking bad products. So they lost ground on that. In India, we can't do that. Whatever we manufacture is type tested, and you can pick up any product and test it in another lab. My customer can also do it, it will be the same. We cannot in India, the rules, regulations, or maybe we are like that. We don't manufacture a product and put a label on it that meeting IS specifications so or so, or UL so and so, or whatever, unless we've type tested it. And then you don't vary because once you type tested, whether it's the plastic or the metal or insulation material, whatever, you can't change. In China, you get from Chint the highest quality product and the same appearing product at a low price because but they have their own philosophy because we've been to China now. So we know, they say that look, 90%, why 90? They say 99% of the times you don't need, if the 100 ampere contactor AC3 duty and you are using it for AC4 duty for so many operations, 99% people will put up a 100 ampere contactor, use it for 50, 60 amperes, and it will never fail. So it doesn't matter. So we don't do that. I think most good companies in India don't do that. That is why the difference between us and many other companies is that we do those products which you find only large multinationals doing, and we are not a large multinational, we are a small company. That is where we differ. So anything else? My friend is reminding me that I miss a flight if we don't move very fast.
Last question.
Please. Anybody? Yes, please. Pardon me? Speak a little louder.
Hello? I don't know whether this statement is correct or what. That many of the experts saying that this electrical power research area is almost going to saturate. So how will you interpret this word and how will you look?
Nothing ever saturates. There is always room. You have to be innovative.
No, this almost, this research level is almost saturated. You
No,
can't.
no, everything is, things are changing. Every day they are changing. Of course, switching will remain switching, but then you have power switching by the power electronics also. So, but the basic switching will always remain. I'm talking about my industry. And don't worry, you have an idea, you put it into practice, and by the time it's dying out, you will find another branch of it to take on to.
This actually I heard from, because we had an industrial lecture from GE last in this semester itself. So at that time only the engineers from GE told that this electrical power, now we don't have much opportunity in that research.
No, rubbish. I can tell you that. Aage bol.
GE don't have. GE are a very large multinational into aircraft turbines, nuclear.
Well, anyway, what else is your question?
So how will you, so is this, that's what I
I'm
would-
telling you that's, whoever told you is telling you a lie, is discouraging you. What else?
Okay, if that statement is correct, so how, my question was, how will you look forward into that?
How will, you get started on something, if that product is dying, you will find a branch of it, which is a new branch which will liven up.
Okay,
So you get started.
okay.
What else? My job today is to encourage you guys to become entrepreneurs, because you are studying in a fabulous institute. Not many people get this opportunity, so you should make the most of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.